Good evening, everyone. Tonight is a special night. I'm opening the meeting for the Select Board as we have just had an election, and it's time for the Select Board to do their annual reorganizing. So at this point, I would like to take nominations for the Select Board Chair.
Do you want to do it again?
Do you mind if we have a little discussion before we?
I think this is worthy of discussion.
As people watching might know, we are bound by opening meeting laws. One of those is that we can't have discussions like this outside of public meeting. So we weren't able to, coordinate to one. I'm happy being the chair. I like being the chair. I also am more than happy to share the love.
Is it something you would be interested in doing, Dan?
I'm fine with the way it is.
I will say that my first year being the chair was not a lot different than my year being the clerk. It didn't have much difference. This last year was a lot harder. We had a very transitional year. We had an interim town administrator and a new town administrator. We lost not only our town administrator, but our assistant to the select board and town administrator. And it was a very challenging year. So just full disclosure, this job, the chairship does bring more to it than you may think it does otherwise.
And Crystal, I'm more than happy to support you if you'd like to take
I
it.
am more than happy to support Nathaniel if you would like to do it again.
I think it's unanimous.
I am more than happy to continue to be the chair.
Oh,
of this
that's
one.
wonderful.
I nominate Nathaniel Waring for chair.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Already.
Nathaniel, you are now the chair for another year.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for taking it on.
Of course. I really do. I do like being the chair. It's also a lot of work. So, 6 of one, half dozen there. All right. I will hereby retake the driving of this meeting.
And so the end of my piece of paper is to take nominations for a vice chair and a
Right.
clerk.
So I would.
You want vice chair or you want clerk?
I'm fine. Whatever. I'm happy to serve in any capacity.
Exactly. So
I will nominate Crystal Drake Tremblay for the vice chair.
Second.
All right. We have a motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will nominate Dan Murphy for the clerk.
Second. All right. We have a motion made and seconded to have Dan Murphy be our clerk. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2-0. Alrighty. We have a select board again.
Thank you all for serving.
Wonderful. And thank you as well. All right. Let's quickly approve the minutes from our last meeting. Our last meeting was on 4/22/25. Do I hear a motion?
I motion we approve the minutes from 4/22.
Second.
All right. We have a motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Alrighty, so for new business, our first order of new business is discussion of a special municipal employee for a school committee member. So thank you very much for providing this. We have here a disclosure form, which is a general law section 268A, or 268A section 20D disclosure. And would you like to give us a little bit of background of why this is necessary?
I am currently in the second term on the Sunderland School Committee, and the Frontier Union 38 won a grant from the Mass Fresh Corps, in which we, as a committee, the Farm to School Committee, developed basically these positions to continue the work of the Farm School Committee to develop this program within all the Union 38 districts that will be paid through this Mass Fresh Corps grant within the Frontier food distribution budget.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. And so I applied and was hired for the garden coordinator position, which is a 12-hour-a-week part-time position that's for this 2-year period ending next year, basically. The grant was awarded very recently, and so there's an expedited spending down of this grant, which maybe you guys are familiar with this scenario, and so it kind of happened very quickly, and I jumped into applying and was given the position because of the work that had been leading up to that also. I'm very interested in it and continuing to maintain my position on the school committee if you guys feel like it can be approved.
And our lawyers are fine with everything?
I didn't call our lawyers. I talked to the lawyer at the state.
Okay,
What is required is Megan needs to go to all 4 of the select boards in the region.
okay.
So it's going to take her a little legwork, but I hope they all find it worthy of support.
Okay, great.
And you don't feel like we need to discuss this with our town council?
As far, it's a very straightforward disclosure. I'm happy to review it with
No,
them
I'm
ahead of time.
just wondering if,
I was
We
told
don't
there's a
get the-
month- There's a month period of time, but since I was technically hired on the 28th, from
Yeah.
that date, we have a month to
Yeah.
kind of finalize that. So.
yeah,
So
no,
if
we haven't had one of these before, so I don't know if it's something that, our
Unfortunately-
town council,
Unfortunately, in Shutesbury, I had a lot of them.
okay.
For different reasons. This was a very clear reason, and some of them can get very messy.
Yep.
But this one is pretty straightforward.
Dan, any questions or?
No.
comments?
No.
All right. I'm assuming you want a motion to accept the disclosure? Okay. At this time, I would entertain a motion to accept the disclosure as presented.
Motion to accept the disclosure as presented.
Second,
All right, we have a motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with the other 3 towns.
One down.
Do I need to submit this? You have all of the copies?
We could probably give you some copies back if we can keep 2. Well, the
Well-
select board needs to sign them.
Well, no, you can just upload them into the SharePoint and then we'll,
Okay.
Into the
Oh, the
folder.
signed one.
Yeah.
And then she can give you 3 to take to the other towns, but if you, Nathaniel, if you would sign at the bottom.
Sure, if you want to pass me one. Can I borrow a pen, Dan? Thank you.
And then I'll scan that one and put it in the
Yeah.
SharePoint.
and then that way, we don't need hard copies, it's easier to find them on the SharePoint.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That was simple enough.
Typically, you want to sign them for the select boards ahead.
Alrighty. Next up is review town election results and select board discuss redistributing committee liaison duties. Unless I'm mistaken, the town election results were very simple. Everyone was unopposed and everyone secured their positions. There wasn't anything controversial. There wasn't any ballot questions that had monetary, fallout or anything like that. So I don't know that there's much to discuss. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about?
I'm good with, yeah, it's hard to have much discussion on unopposed
Yep.
results.
Well, it's a good thing that there were people willing to serve in every
That's true.
position.
Exactly.
I do want to say officially congratulations to everyone who was elected. Thank you very much for submitting yourself to serve, especially our members who are new to committees. We had a number of folks who are diving in for the first time to some committee or another, so
Yeah,
welcome.
and thanks to all the people that vacated positions too, for the time they spent doing them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, the other half of that is the redistributing of the committee liaison duties. Now, we've had the same list for the last couple of years. Is there anyone want to change what's on that list? Does anyone have varying interests or?
I'm fine with the ones I have. If there's somebody that I have that somebody is just going, I really want to be on that committee, I will.
To be honest, I have the ones I want already, and I'm not looking to poach yours, so.
Yeah, I'm fine with you.
Yep, I'm fine with the ones I have too.
Somebody will mix it up.
Yeah, but it takes a couple of years to get to actually know
Yep.
what that group is doing and understand all their goals and stuff, so I don't see any need to,
Yeah, no, I appreciate the consistency, being
Yeah.
able to say, oh, I did this last year, I know what I'm talking about, not just being
Right.
brand new every single time. So, no, I'm on the same page there. So on that note, I guess I would entertain a motion to reappoint everyone to the slate of committees that we are currently on.
So moved?
second,
All right. We have a motion made and seconded, not hearing any further discussion. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye, 3-0. Wonderful. And our last new item of business is a discussion on where on the town website to put the town resolutions that were passed at our recent town meeting. And last time we had discussed briefly having that be on sort of the top bar of the website in its own little, drop-down menu there. Something that was like resolutions or, town resolutions, that kind of thing.
That sounds fine to me.
Was there anything further that we wanted to discuss on that, or just wanted us to confirm that
No,
that is
you-
where we were going?
Yeah, you did say you wanted to think about it
Okay.
some more in case
Yeah.
you hadn't had much time to
Yep.
look at the website originally.
Yeah, and I mean, when I looked at it, it just seems somewhere along that top bar, and if we call it,
I guess one question I have is,
Language, just the language.
are these really the first two citizen petitions of this type? And if not, if there have been past petitions of this type, where do those
where are
live?
they?
Because there isn't currently a section of the website, at least not that I'm aware of, that says past citizen petitions. And I would assume that in the many hundred-year history of the town, we would have had at least a couple of non-binding citizen petitions. So I don't know if maybe just in the past, there was never a aspect of those that included putting them on the website.
Pre-website kind
You
of
know,
Or
stuff.
they
website or
might
just-
not have been a website.
Or just that the people, like, the people who came into us this time asked for it to be on the website, so we put that wording in the language.
So if we
It's
had-
possible, it just hasn't in the past.
So if we had historical resolutions that passed, they're still active, right?
Unless they've been repealed, ostensibly they would still be active.
Yeah.
If there were ones that had language that, not, because again, they're not binding, but quote unquote required us to read them, we would be reading them. or we would be not doing what was intended. So I guess that's sort of my only question is just, is there already a place that those are being displayed? If so, do we want to either modernize that or put these there? Or again, maybe it's just that this is the first two where the website applies. I don't know that I have a good answer as to where to find that out.
I'll
But-
start with Wendy.
Yeah,
But
that's
Wendy's a good place to start. Wendy's a good place to start, and I hate to reach out to Jeff too often, but that might be a case where if you can't get a satisfactory answer, we send him a polite email asking him if he knows the answer to that. But yeah, that's my only real.
I just like searched resolutions,
Yeah.
and I'm just kind of looking through that quick. There's quite a few pages of it, so that wouldn't be one, right?
Yeah, that's not town driven. That would be a resolution that we as a select board or they as a select board.
The only thing I'd say is just be careful to use the language that was voted,
Yeah.
however you describe it, that's all.
Yeah. So I guess we'll,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just looking quick through these pages, and
That's the first I've heard, I think the first time I've seen it. I mean, you've never seen a resolution at town meeting?
yeah.
Shutesbury's had up to 5 at a time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There could be a
People
whole
really
bunch.
like them.
There could be a whole bunch, for all we know, that we just don't know about.
I guess what I'm saying is that one way or the other, I'd like us to be consistent. So if we already have a system in place, great, let's keep using that system. If we don't have a system in place, great, let's come up with one. And then if we can, pull forward any past stuff that should be there. Or if not, great, we have two, and in the future, we have a path for them, and we can continue to populate them there. Okay. So I would entertain a motion to tentatively add a drop-down bar on the town website,
On the right?
assuming, or,
Sure.
contingent on the discovery of what has been done in the past. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do we want to actually select a place? Do we want to say put it between regional services and COVID-19 or just
Put it
on
on
that?
That was just
far
after
right.
COVID-19,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
There's room between there and the Find It
Yeah.
Festival. So yeah, and we can also leave a lot of the minutia up to that to whoever does the website design for us. You know, they'll know how to make it fit the theme of the website properly and whatnot. All right. So do I hear a motion to make that so pending investigation?
So, I don't know if we even want to do, so if they actually live someplace already on the website, I still think maybe we should get them up here so they're
Yeah.
not being searched for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think no matter what, it should go up here.
No, I
Even
agree.
if they find them someplace else
Yeah.
on the
I
website.
agree.
So yeah, let's do that then. Let's make a motion to create a place for them on the main webpage. And if we can find past ones, great, we'll pull them forward.
Yeah.
If not, it's a fresh start and we start with these two and then we have a place for them for the
Yes.
foreseeable future.
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. Wonderful. All right, that is all of our new business tonight. Under old business, do we have any select board updates?
I don't, well, I will say, I know I promised last week to do the Shadney's Path. I'm waiting for one drawing. I've got them all downsized, but I want to have a complete set. So you will be seeing that. Hopefully, it was going to be today, tomorrow, so
Wonderful.
that'll be coming.
Excellent. Looking forward to that. Anything, Crystal?
I am all set.
Wonderful. I don't have anything major myself, so wonderful. Becky, any town administrator updates from you?
I have been talking to Wendy about the cane and the oldest person. As you recall, Mary Warner has passed away. She was our long-standing oldest person, well, for a few years. And we are looking at a list of folks. But the person at the top currently is Georgette Devine. The policy states that the person needs to live in town for a minimum of 1 year, and she has been here for a number of years, so she would be the next one to be given the cane. So I was thinking of reaching out to her and with Wendy's support and inquiring if she would be interested in getting the cane. And then at the 19th meeting, bring that information back and arrange a time where the select board could go out and, I think you share the cane with her and then take it back.
Yeah. We present it and take some pictures and, it's
Yeah.
the one that I've been to, not to speak from a lot of experience, but the one I've been to, a lot of family was there. It was an opportunity to celebrate.
Yeah,
her life,
so
too.
typically, if they have a birthday party or something coming up, we may let them keep it for a couple days. But because so many of these, have been found at flea markets, things like that, because if they keep it, we don't know.
Yeah, sometimes with a death, things get lost. And
Yes, so, if they have, we use it, for the presentation. I believe there's a pin and, a couple other things that
Okay.
we present them with.
Okay.
And, we do take the cane back to go back into its home there so that we have it to present to the next person.
And from my perspective, we can take a lot of direction from her and her family as to how big of a deal she wants it to be. She may not want to have Joe Comerford and Natalie Blais and half of Sunderland show up at her doorstep, or she may be somebody who's like an opportunity for a party. Great, I'll invite the entire town. So it would be good to get her and her family's take on that.
Okay.
I would hate to have the distaste of having a big thing get in the way of her being able to accept the honor if she feels that's an issue, so
Yeah, when we did it for Mrs. Rodak, there were maybe 10 people there. It was quite small, and then, you know, when Mary Warner had hers, it was, you know, it was a family birthday party. So,
Okay.
you know,
I guess what I'm saying is that we are open to whatever works for them.
Yeah,
in that
sensitivity to the,
Yes.
yeah.
to
Yeah.
the person being awarded.
Exactly. But yes, please do work with Wendy on that. It'd be great to get that taken care of.
Great. That's my big thing for tonight.
It's a nice one.
All right. That's it for old business. We have no correspondence. I don't see anybody online in our waiting room or in person here. So no public comment, no executive session tonight. At this time, I would entertain a motion.
Did we want to talk about the bi-weekly?
Yes, good point. Our next meeting, it will be on 5/19, which is 2 weeks from today, so we will not be meeting this coming Wednesday. And we are, sorry, maybe Monday. And we are going into our summer schedule as of now. So from now until sometime in September, October-ish, when budget season starts to roll up, we will be doing every other week. With the understanding that if something time sensitive comes up that we need to be able to, you know, meet, we will post as required and meet on those off weeks.
Excellent, thanks.
Yes, thank you for reminding me, Dan. Good call. All right, at this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
A motion we adjourn.
Second.
All right, we have a motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0, 6:49 PM. Nice and fast.